Let me get to this other caller, Demarius. I'm not gonna hang up on you, and I'll come right back to you, my brother. And just troubleshoot. I'll come right back to you after this call. All right, we'll come right back to Demarius. We got 94 Legend. What's happening, brother?
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
My question is about dreams. When I'm meditating, trying to meditate, when I'm reading books, I keep getting these visions of dreams that I've been having since I was a little child. I mean, it could be up to 30, 35 dreams at a time. I want to know why I can't just settle down and get these dreams out of my head and actually concentrate on what I'm trying to do. It
Okay.
happens every day. Every
Okay.
day I
How
just want to know what it
these
is.
contents in the dream? Are there something you recognize as an experience that you had as a child?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, they must have had some kind of indelible impact on you when you were that age, because they are ingrained in the chemistry of your memory. Remember, memory is nothing but a chemical recall. So until that chemical is diluted in some way by the fact that your attention does not give them the necessary fuel to keep strengthening them, you have to understand that memory is the recall of a particular mixing of chemistries that happened at the time that you experienced it. So what you're doing is, as you're going into meditation, that had such an indelible influence on you that every time you go to a place where you quiet, what is in your subconscious comes up and starts triggers a recall and a replay. You keep hitting the replay button. What you
Right.
need to do is, when it does happen, do not assign the type of attention that you would to the thought. Because the more you assign your attention to that thought, the more you place your emotional impetus into that thought, the more strength you give to it, and it stays alive one more time, one more strength. What you need to do is to stop putting judgment into what you recall in your meditation. Because remember, every time you go into your meditation, you bring back a memory that you judged was something important to you. But
Hmm.
if you stop judging that thing by saying, "Oh, that was very important at one time. Oh, I remember what I did. I heard. I skinned my knee." And all of those things essentially give life to that thought. It nurtures from your attention. It feeds on your attention. So when you no longer put the importance of that thought as you're meditating, allow it. Sometimes when you resist it, you strengthen it. You have to allow it to happen. The more you allow it without placing any of your attention, that precious part of yourself, into that particular moment, the less it has its energy, less it feeds. And the more you go into meditation and not give any value to that particular thought, the more it begins to dissipate and it comes back less and less and less until it disappears.
Okay. I'll see
Hey,
you guys Sunday. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
see you
Your
Sunday,
pleasure.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
Shout out to that brother.
Mm.
Demarius, what's going
Can I
on,
s-
brother? You ready? There you
Hello?
go. There you
Okay.
go, brother. There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but thank you for taking my call. Thank you for your patience.
Mhm.
As an Andromeda starseed, what can you tell us about the history of Andromeda and their role in our planet's ascension, if they have any role at all?
Well, I would not listen to the Europeans who give you that information. I would go back to the Dogon and deal with the Ijiji and how they dealt with the stars. The stars are nothing more than hieroglyphics that essentially beam down particular information to you that aligns directly with specific synaptic regions in the brain. Andromeda is nothing more than the star system that is linked up in the brain. You have to understand that Andromeda is not a place, it's part of what the dome was written for. The hieroglyphics of the sky that we have, we call Gemini, Taurus, Aquarius, Andromeda, Pleiades. Um, um, the starts with an A. Went right over here. But what you're looking at essentially is what a human being, and inspired by what it is that they saw in the stars, and looking at what that particular position of that particular thing, like the Sirius star system, or actually, we got to stop calling it Sirius. We have to call it what the ancients called it, was Sopedet. so pedet. That was what Sirius was to us. And what happens is when those particular hieroglyphics end up in the sky, certain things happen down here that we become conscious of, so that that appearance now shows something that appears here to us. And if we see that there's a groundswell of water, as it does in the Nile, or there's a groundswell based upon waters that come and wash things over, all of it, we are looking at what it is that that particular lesson plan that was given to us in that dome was supposed to give us the sight to be able to see not only what we see in nature, which is the mother that teaches, but what is the Father within, the Spirit. So the spirit and nature work together. And what you are perceiving in the avatar that you are is you are perceiving and feeding back to the universe through your unique vessel. You are taking in and contemplating on energies that others are actually participating in. And collectively, your consciousness is what's changing and reevaluating everything around you. These Europeans are looking for people who come from Pleiades. And if you look at these Europeans who are talking about being Pleiadians, they are pale ass white with long white hair. These people are creating their own mythos to give them a reality that they stole from everybody that had melanin on this planet. So I would say to you, and I did something in New York. I think Brother Rich and I think it was with Brother King Simon, where we did something talking about a UFO conference, where I showed who it was that these Europeans are actually dealing with. There was some white boy called Drunvalo Melchizedek, talking all kind of nonsense about who it is that Saint Michael is, and who everybody was these pale ass Europeans. You don't see anybody black in any of their realities. You see it in all of their cartoons. You see it in their superheroes. They're all taking from you. So whatever it is they're telling you about the Pleiades, seek out the ones who knew before they knew. Like they knew Sopadet before they knew Ceres. They didn't even know that Ceres had a three-star, was a triune system until they went and visited the Dogon. So study your own eschatology when it comes to astrotheology, because that's what everything is. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, all of that is what is under the rubric of something called astrotheology. We learned everything from the stars in the sky, which were the hieroglyphics, the first book of life. That's where we learned from. Within you, my beloved brother, passed on from your mother in your mitochondria, is the Alexandrian library. Seek the knowledge there while using some of the knowledge they may have interpreted, but don't take it from them. Remix it, realchemize it, and make it your own, because it was always your own.
Hey, I appreciate the question, my brother.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night.
Peace, peace.
Please.
All right, that was the last call we're gonna take, but we had one super chat. Shout out to Kansu for the super chat donation. I appreciate it. Kansu wants to know, Doc, on behalf of a new listener with me, they ask if God can do anything, why not just eradicate sin and give up his only son?
That's ridiculous when we start talking about giving up his only son. The only son that he's given us is the son above us. The son that is above us is the Son of God. That is the one that resurrects after December 21st, stays in the southern quadrant of our flatted Earth for 3 days, and then rises when the so-called what is that Virgo. When Virgo is rising on the third day, that's when we talk about the son being born of a virgin. Everything is based upon astrotheology. They anthropomorphized it and started putting white people to the information that was actually based upon forces that we understood. If the ancestors were to come back and see the way we took the knowledge that they put down in story form and we literalized it, they would have been laughing at us. They'd have told us we are fools, because everything in that Bible is supposed to be about science, not about no man named Moses, which they stole from the ancient Kemites. Moshe, Moshe was the name of Tutankhamun's father. The word Moshe means helper of humanity. So all of what we're looking at, as far as if God can do anything, God can do everything. You are the God that can do anything. You're the better part of God. Have you ever watched God and actually express Him and herself through the eruption of a volcano that kills 25,000 people? Is that the God you're talking about? No, we are the better part of God. We were created by that thing that seeks itself because it doesn't know itself. I know everybody's saying, oh, well, God is all knowing. It's, yes, it is. God is all knowing, and being all knowing means you don't know a damn thing about yourself. You just are. You are the unknowable. And the way we tap into the unknowable is by us, the known, tapping into the unknown. And the unknown gives us little bare scratches of what the unknowable is about. So if God can do anything, you can do anything. How do you eradicate sin? You understand what sin is. Sin means ignorance. Sin means you act out of ignorance. You do not know. And the reason why you do not know is because God needed to not know itself. The reason why you exist is to come into knowledge of self so that the Creator will know itself. And I'm saying, oh, that's blasphemous. The Creator knows all. He sits upon a throne waiting for you to do the right thing so that you could be rewarded at the end. That's bullshit. You're talking like a little child. They're giving you fairy tales. They're giving you little things for you to play. And you know, Mary had a little lamb and, you know, and 3 little pigs. That's what the Bible is trying to tell you. And even your Jesus Christ said his name was Lucifer. He only did it to you at the end, what they call the revelations, which was actually called the initiation of the anointed Isis, which then became the apocalypse, which then became the revelations. And at the end, in chapter 22, verse 16, he said, I, Jesus. Read it. I'm the scion of David and the bright morning star. Whoa, Jesus is the morning star? Well, who else is the morning star? Lucifer. That's why the Vatican worships Lucifer. They don't worship Jesus. The Vatican worships Lucifer. And you all think that when the white man tells you hate Lucifer, do you hate Lucifer? Because he warped everything that Lucifer represented? Lucifer was Venus. He's the bringer of the dawn. He's the star you see right before the sun comes up over the horizon. Everything you think you know about the reality of what you teach, preach, worship, everything has been twisted. You have no knowledge of what the reality is, and they're keeping that in what they call religion. They're relegating your brain to think outside of the science that your ancestors left you. The anthropomorphizing of gods with heads of dogs and animals and so forth, those were just ways to teach children. And that's the way that your boy, what's his name, who believes in evolution? Who was the dude who did with evolution?
Darwin.
Darwin. You know, Darwin's father was an Egyptologist, and he got the whole thing about evolution from dogs and animals and apes and so forth from all of the statuary that his father had in his studio. It's ridiculous that we are. This is the time of revelation. I'm going to leave you all with this. This is the time of revelation, family. Your religion is not going to mean anything, but they're going to put something else in its place. They're going to have you worshiping people like Beyonce and the rest of these creatures. They're going to have you worshiping a cult of personality when you should be looking within. And just because they have money means that they don't mean that they're greater than you are. Just because they have more notoriety over that system of Medea. Medea was the goddess of illusions. That's why it's called the Medea. So you have to understand that your religions are not going to mean anything, though they're going to have the meaning, because everybody wants to fulfill this Armageddon crap that they're talking about. And who's doing the Armageddoning? It's all the people that want you to believe that everything that they know and everything that's in the Bible is coming true. That's because they wrote the script. The Bible is only about 700 years old, the one you're reading. And they had all this time to twist and turn and give you all kinds of meanings. It's good for people who have been sitting on crack or have fentanyl drugs and so forth to come to Jesus so that you can stop thinking about yourself that way. But if you start dealing with higher consciousness, like this brother is affording for you, when black magic comes on here, he's not talking from that particular perspective. He's bringing people on that's going to free you. Free you from all that nonsense that you're doing. You look into books to find yourself. Go within, know thyself, and come to school. Come to our university. Come to the webinars. Come to this brother's Patreon page. Stay away from churches. They don't mean a goddamn thing. You see what your boy, what's his name, dealing with P. Diddy,
Ooh,
Piss
TD
Diddy.
Jakes, TD
Yeah,
Jakes.
yeah. I'm the first one to call him TD Snakes 25 years ago.
I
Now
remember.
everybody calling him TD Snakes and Creflo Pimpadala. These people are these are the demons that are keeping you trapped in a myth. Time to come out and understand what it is. Time to graduate. Time to come out and stop being super seniors in the consciousness realm. That's that. I'm ranting. I'm sorry, beloved. So for those of you brothers and sisters, if you want to start the process, come see us on Sunday. And if you want to get the process personally, one to one with me, to ask me the questions and to be able to know what's getting ready to come down, I advise you, or at least I recommend to you, to join our university.
Wow. Oh, what a show, Doc. High frequency conversation tonight. High level conversation, as 19 Keys would say. I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in, Doc. You did a great job. I look forward to Sunday, Doc. Keep up the great, amazing work, my brother.
Thank you, beloved, and you do the same.
Yes, sir. Peace, my brother.
Peace and love.
Signing out, family. I'll be back tomorrow with a special guest. Stay tuned. But it's gonna be a new guest. All right. See you tomorrow, family. Peace.
Indeed.
You know.
Excellent.
All right, I see y'all lining up in the back. Once again, family, we're doing a Q&A, a brief Q&A. Doc is going to be here for about an hour, 20 minutes approximately tonight. If you have a question, click on the link pinned at the top of the chat. Let's start off with putting Doc's PayPal on the screen because we always got to take care of
Ah, that's
elders.
right. I forgot to send you my wife's book cover.
You can send it during the show, and
Oh, okay.
in the middle of Q&A, I'll post it.
All right.
If
I'll
you,
go ahead. Okay. I'll
what's
send it. I'll send it after a few minutes if you want to.
what's your PayPal, Doc?
My PayPal
Yeah.
is Kemet Earth, KEMET
Uh-huh.
at gmail.com. One word. Kemet Earth.
All right, family. If you are interested in taking care of the elders in our community who have been teaching for over 30 years, feel free to head on over to PayPal and send a nice donation to Dr. Valentine, and he will certainly appreciate it, family. Let's get started with before we do Doc, how's everything going with you and the family? Good to have you back on here, Doc. What's going on? I see you got the beard going on. What's going
Yeah, yeah. Guys started every time I'd shave it off, I'd start itching up my face and start bumping up. So I said, you know what the hell? I'll just go ahead and go full elder.
Indeed. I hear you, Doc. I
I'm
hear
waiting
you.
for this. I'm trying to get some gray hair,
Uh-huh.
but it won't grow yet. But that's genetic, so I can't help it.
Indeed. All right. Are you ready to get to some questions, Doc?
Sure, you're right. Sure, you're
All
right.
right. Let's get to the first question from the family tonight. Let's get to Dean. Dean, are you there? Dean, are you there?
I'm there, man. Oh,
Hey.
thank you. Thank you. Thanks,
Yes.
Brother Rich.
Yes, sir.
Um,
What's
I
your
just
question?
want to say, Brother Rich, when you did your thing at the Forbidden Conscious Awards,
Oh,
you and Kambata on stage,
thank you,
there was
brother.
a few of us that were feeling that magic. So it was beautiful to see you get your award, to do your thing. I must say your show is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Every night you knocking it at the park.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Brother Valentine, I'm honored. I don't even know where to begin with the question, but I want to say to both of you, when you had to look inside yourself and see the best part of yourself, how did you step into those shoes, and how do you motivate yourself to stay in those shoes
Hmm.
despite all the things we go through, all the changes that we might be going through right now? How
Yeah.
do you stay in the best self, continue to stay in that best self, and keep your drive and ambition going in your best self?
Well, that's a great question.
Indeed.
It's to stop lying to yourself first. The first thing we have to do is to face the reality about ourselves. We have a tendency to have a glorified image of ourselves. And when we look in the mirror, we tend to project what we think should be in the mirror rather than what is. When you become comfortable with the beautiful as well as the ugly part, we try to cover the ugly part with all kind of cosmetics and stuff. When you're comfortable with the ugly part and you're comfortable with the beautiful part, then that particular equilibrium begins to give you a sense of what the world is really like. So you don't have to worry about that. As far as what it is that caused me to become part of this particular mission, well, just like anyone else, there was a crucible that I had to cross. I lost everything, homeless 2 times, really 2.5 times, living in people's houses on the street, dealing with certain things that you have to come to realize. But then do not allow the present situation to become the victor in your situation. And then what you know in your mind is that, hey, you don't belong here. This is simply a segue to where you know you belong. So I kept that and kept the strength, maintained myself, didn't have any animosity to anyone, and I did not have. Therefore, there was no adversary with, and you give up that adversary, and you tell the adversary, you begin to alchemize the adversary to become part of your positive plan. So yes, that was a very good question, a very thought
Indeed.
provoking as well, and
Indeed.
I like that.
Indeed. And just to answer real quick, my brother, let me just say this real quick. I could tell you would be a good interview if you ever wanted to pursue that career, my brother. Sometimes it's just why can't I? Sometimes it's not just the question you ask; it's how you ask it, and you